Green.
I have green.
Hello, Joe. Are we on the air or?
Yes, I can see you and I can hear you.
Okay. So we have enough people for a meeting. And we're gonna open up. Today is Tuesday, April 15th. It's 7:35. This is the monthly Town of East Haddam Historic District Commission meeting. And I'm gonna call to order. All are present except for Jack Lovejoy. I haven't heard that he wasn't coming, so I don't know. And Joe Zerlis is on the phone. For reference, Steve Rossi, Christian Miller, David Nelson, Carl Stofko, and myself, Will Brady. And that's our composition of our membership. I'm gonna forego approval of minutes, since we have a applicant here. And if that's okay with everyone? And if you'd like to come up, Yanovich? Okay, I got it right. Mr. Yanovich, if you'd like to kick one of the chairs that has wheels on it, they're welcome to. Does everybody have this application? This is application 2502, 150 Wickham Road. And it's Paul Yanovich is the applicant. An application to add a new addition to the back of the house.
Yeah, it's an addition to the addition.
Addition, right, okay.
On the back of the house.
There is a plot plan. Plot plans are available for viewing at the town zoning officer's office. What we have in here is just kind of difficult to show the viewers what this looks like. The application is to move the current first floor bathroom into no addition. There are four pages of illustration, one of them possible. If you would like to go forward with your description of your project.
Well, the existing house was built in 1740. That's the original structure. And then from all the records, I can't get an exact date, but they put that addition on between 1980 and 1993,
Right.
somewhere in that time. But from the so they added it to the existing house. And the way it's set up right now, to get from the kitchen to the sitting room, you have to walk through the bathroom.
Okay. Go through the bathroom.
You have to walk through it. So what I want to do is move that out.
Okay.
Just, well, it's going to be 8 by 20.
Okay.
And then we have a front entrance.
Joe? Mr. Zerlis, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, that sounded like a little electronic feedback there. Can you hear the applicant? There's a slight delay from when we speak and when he's able to speak back to us.
And who is this for?
Pardon me?
Who is this?
Joe Zerlis is also one of our commission members, and he's not able to physically be present, so. Sorry.
So, and then there's two front entrances, one to the addition, and then one to the main house. So, there's, where that entrance is, they have it as a laundry room. And so I wanna combine that with the bathroom, just so that, I have a little bit more room, you're not coming in the front entry, into a washing machine and do that.
Okay,
So we wanna just combine those two, it's an L, you know, it's, so, that would be the laundry room there, and that is the existing bathroom. So we wanna put an addition like right here and combine those two rooms into the one room.
okay, this is the main house.
Yes.
The road is here,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Garage, where is this?
So the only view.
Right here is what, here, I would put the additions,
Okay,
and it's about 20 feet. It's 20 feet.
so it's gonna sort of bump out kind of like this, or,
No, it's gonna,
I'm sorry.
it's gonna go just like this,
oh, okay.
that's all it is.
So you're expanding these back walls,
Yes,
Okay.
this wall, will stay there, but,
okay,
you know, we're gonna, and there's a window right here, we're gonna turn that into a door.
okay.
Here's the bathroom,
Mr. Zettles, we're looking at the last image on the application form.
It's better.
I've looked at it also,
Okay.
and I know what's going on.
Um, the addition would be, looking at the back of the form, if you pick what says the right side at the bottom for the moment, and he would be expanding a wall or a section in the back, and it would run flush to the,
It's all in a couple inches,
all right,
just a step back.
close to,
Yes,
close,
yes.
right, and it would go up to the breezeway, so a little bit past the middle. Okay. So would the addition be 20 feet long as well?
Yeah, so it's 8 feet from.
8 foot wide,
From
by 20 feet.
wide.
Okay.
Yeah, by 20.
I know a lot of the questions you had are kind of not relevant to this one size fits all kind of application. So this gives us a better view of this. This is already exists like this, right? I'm sorry.
The page before, I think, shows it. It says a proposed
This is
addition, it shows a
existing
little
wall
box.
and it's an overhang? Or is that,
Change glasses.
sorry,
Okay, so this is,
so here's,
it's.
So
oh, I see, okay, this is the,
This
this
is
is
the
the
main
garage.
No,
The
oh,
main-
okay, yes, that's correct.
Right, so here's the main house,
because it's 2 stories high.
mudroom, and, okay, I see what you're doing, right,
And this, because this wall continues.
right.
It's off the correct.
Well,
Yes,
I've looked at this, and it seems like the entire addition is to the back of the house. None of it is front.
right,
I don't see where this is gonna be any problem at all.
okay. Questions from the other commission members?
Oh, I mean, do we even need this? I mean, it's not even visible from the road.
Well, you've got a second story addition.
No, we're not doing the second story.
You're not doing the second story. That's out. Then that would be all right.
So that's a hypothetical.
Yes, it was, we start getting prices and it wasn't gonna work.
All right,
So this is new.
Yeah, so this was basically right here. So, this will be a new
a
foundation.
new foundation and
Exactly,
retaining
yeah,
wall,
well.
right, okay. This is just a foundation though, this is again more crawl space underneath.
No, this will be, because the current Bilco door
Yes,
is right here.
okay,
So it's gonna be a full 7 foot tall, it'll go right underneath here, 7 feet deep.
okay,
No, nothing in it. It's
Right.
short people on this.
we're looking at sheet number 1, which is the second image in there, just. And there would not be a second floor being built, is there some thought about doing that in the future?
Doesn't look like it, just,
Questions, other, Steve? Chris? David?
No.
Questions, observations? Carl?
No, I mean, this house is sort of at an angle. Folding into the lot, just set it there. So, I mean, it's a direct, sort of like this on the street. And then, of course, the Warnicki house is completely off-center.
When
So,
did you hope to begin work on?
I should have gone up there and driven.
as soon as, I say June 1st would be.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Mr. Zerlis, you've expressed your thoughts. What would the exterior, is it clapboard or?
Backward side.
All right.
It's a, currently it's a, the little bit of an overhang, it's wood shingles. Now, I would like to actually replace that part of the roof. It's not necessary that I do it, but, while I'm at this stage, it'd be nice if I could just do that.
Is the roof in the back or the roof in the front?
Roof, well, it's, the whole roof I'd like to do, but the problem is the red cedar shingles that are on there now. Like when I did the original house last year, I talked to one of the members and they said that I had to use the red, same shingles, the wood shingles on the main house.
Right, because that's sort of replacing like, same materials with like materials.
So the addition, originally it had asphalt shingles and now there's wood shingles. But
This is on the roof.
of the addition.
Right.
So, I don't know if, would I be able to put asphalt shingles on the addition? Just continuing,
It's in the back, it's not, you're not seeing it from the street side.
well, if I only do the back, but I like it all to match. So I was wondering if I did the front, could I do that in asphalt?
What's the garage have on it?
Garage is got, now it has wood, originally it had asphalt shingles on it, now it has wood shingles, but they're in rough shape, mostly in the back. So I'd just like to check, first of all, prices are astronomical now.
Right.
I'm trying to get, and then when the best price I can get so far is about $1,200 a square, just for the material, that's not installed. And nobody can get them. I haven't been able, because with the tariff thing with Canada, they're not shipping anything, so I may not be able to get them even if I wanted to.
Right.
On the house, I don't know if you're aware of this, but the insurance companies consider the wooden roofs a fire hazard.
No, we're
aware of
They,
aware.
they jack them by insurance rate.
Right.
cause they insisted I put a new roof on the house. But because it's wood shingles, they jacked my insurance up $600 a year, because it's a fire hazard. So on the addition, because it's not part of the original house, and
Right.
when they built it, it had asphalt shingles.
So your question is,
Can I
can you redo the whole roof at the
the
same time?
garage, yeah, in the breezeway in the garage.
Breezeway in the garage, the back, not the front of that, the back.
Again, if I did this, the back, I'd like to do the front too.
You're talking about both sections of roof. When you say front, I'm talking about the house,
So you're talking about the entire roof of the whole structure?
including the house, or just?
The house, we just did the roof last year
Right, right. You're just talking about the roof.
on the addition, not on the addition I'm doing, on the addition that they did in 1990.
Right. Cause you're butting this addition up to another addition. You're hanging this, you're joining this addition to an existing addition.
Yes, because it's just, like I said, if this was the house in L, all we're doing is like making a wall from here,
Right.
not including that, but it would just make a wall, and just put this, that's what we're doing, so the current roof has an overhang, so we're gonna have to interfere with that roof. And I said, while we're there, I'd just like to do
This area,
the entire garage.
like I say, it's this area here. It's here.
So we go with this. This is from Zillow. So this was re-roofed
Yes.
last year. So we're talking about redoing the garage and
And the little breezeway,
then a little
Right.
breezeway.
right there.
That's all right. And right now, the garage also has wood shingles.
Yes.
All right. What has been acceptable in other applications is to replace wood shingles with architectural shingles. That's
Yes.
what has, there's precedence for that. The original house would still have the wood shingles.
That's supposed to be good for 30 years. So,
David, do you wanna speak to architectural shingles?
Sure. There's a couple of different brands that are, top quality. JAF is one I can think of off the top of my head. There are a couple of brands, I think JAF is one of them, that they have a variety of colors, but there's one color in particular between those two manufacturers, both called Weatherwood, and it seems to be the closest appearance to what naturally weathered red cedar shingles would end up looking like.
that's what I would like to do.
And we have previously approved in certain circumstances architectural shingles with the specification that they are weatherwood. Some people like to do more of a tan color, like a brand new roof, but then it's a roof that looks like it's never aged. And the weatherwood has that very natural, as close as possible to a natural gray color that the red cedar would eventually, actually fairly quickly turn. So that seems to have been the best choice for a number of installations.
And that's perfect.
So you would end up having architectural shingles that appear as, from a distance, as it's sort of already aged.
Yeah, there would, if you went with a different color than weatherwood and you're almost butting right up against actual red cedar shingles that have aged, it's gonna be the closest feel that you're gonna get.
Saw a picture of the house, the old, the 1990s edition is quite a bit lower than the other
Yeah.
roofs, so it's not, I don't think, and you're, the only place.
Oh, no, I know, they're not butted right up against each other, but a visual from the right of way, you know, you're gonna have
Yeah.
a large massive roof on the main house, the original house, and then a large massive roof on the addition. Granted, it's lower, but they're pretty much right next to each other visually. And
Yeah.
so
That's what I would look for anyway.
right, so that's gonna be your closest match is Weatherwood. GAF is one off the top of my head. I cannot for the moment think of the other.
Is it Corning?
It could be,
Pink
Could be.
Panther?
it could be.
Architectural.
I go, and personally, I go for there are different grades of architectural shingles, it might be well worth the additional cost for the thicker stuff.
My last time, I've been here 2 years, and I lived in New Hartford, and we put, they're guaranteed for 55 years. Those the heaviest ones that I would expect to do the same thing. Best ones I can get.
Well, and unfortunately, you brought up insurance company. Regardless of what the manufacturers guarantee, insurance companies really have a serious problem. Regardless of even material, they have a problem with any roof that's over 20 years old. Period. And I know that from personal experience.
They gave me 1 year to put a new roof on the
Yeah.
house. They're
Yeah.
gonna cancel my insurance.
So,
And there's no, because it's wood, Parity was the only person I could get. There's one fellow in Cheshire that I was able to get a price from.
Mhm.
But nobody does the wood roofs.
The Congregational Church, First Church of Christ, we had a roof done on the parish wall of wood, and it was done by a firm in Pawcatuck, which is part of Stonington. They were the most reasonable.
This is, I mean, we're losing the detail of it because it's still a photograph online, but Owens Corning and GAF are the two largest manufacturers
I
of
think I used Old
architectural
Corning
shingles.
who I used before. I have no problem using, I'm gonna get the guarantee for 55 years. That's whatever that grade is, that's what I'm at.
Mr. Zarlis, any thoughts on changing the wood shingles on the 1990s edition to architectural shingles? It's further back from the original house.
I think it's the back of the house, not a problem. We have allowed this in other places.
Mhm.
And I think that, it's a choice you make to be a little bit more practical. And maybe even insurance-wise might have an effect.
Mhm.
I have no problem with architectural shingles, especially if it's used in the typical, what we've always recommended, the weathered wood look.
Right. Mhm.
And that seems to be just fine, and especially in this application, which is the back of the house.
Well,
To
it
be
would
honest-
be on the front of the garage, which is the part of the
garage,
19,
in front of the front of the 90s edition.
that's on the 1990s edition.
Garage.
The garage is part of the addition.
But the garage had wooden,
Yeah, it does.
Right.
It had asphalt and somebody just, since 1990, somebody put the wood shingles on top of the roof now. So, and the only place you really see it, if you look up my driveway, you can
Right.
see the addition.
Right.
And because here's the main house space like this, and then the breezeway stepped back a little bit, and then it
Right.
goes at an angle. And then when from that angle, you can see the garage. And so that roof is one of the roofs where I like to put the asphalt.
So for the record, I have a problem. So for the record, we're saying that the asphalt shingles are going on,
The entire 1990s, 80, whatever that year was.
The addition and the
everything
garage.
from the house, behind,
Right.
the house,
Beyond the main house.
behind, everything behind the main house, which includes the breezeway,
And
the
the back.
new bathroom and the garage. So we have it clear.
And you said you got a rough estimate for a price for like the wood shingles would be 1,200 a square foot.
Square, so a 10 by 10 is called, they consider that a square.
Right.
And it's for the material, they said, and this was from, Shagbar was the one that
Right,
gave me
okay.
the, which is probably, it's the average price from what I found out.
Yeah.
And that's not installed, so,
Right,
I
that's
figure I
just-
need about 16 square.
Okay.
So it almost would throw the project out of the, my budget.
So with regards to describing the project, we need to add that we're talking about putting architectural shingles on the 1990 edition. Okay,
And it would be clapboard, matching clapboard.
Right.
On the back. Nothing's being changed on the front as far as clapboard goes.
so I'm changing this on the,
Patient.
right,
When I talk, is it Richard, the building inspector, I don't know if he's building inspector, what he is.
building inspector down the other end of the hall, right? I'm not sure that our new current building inspector's name. I know Ruth Zibron is their
Because
secretary.
I talked to him when I was filling this out, and he went over it. He said, fill it out best you can, and he was gonna fill in whatever
Mhm.
other stuff. So I didn't see the last.
Joe, any thoughts or comments, questions?
Not right now, no. I'm a little confused about the discussion about the 1990 edition. I don't, you know.
At some point after the 1990 edition was built, wood shingles were put on on the garage, correct?
Yes, the garage and the breezeway.
The garage and the breezeway, which are back from the road and behind the main house, though visible, it's quite a distance away from the road, but like 250 feet or more from the road.
It's a good 200.
Yeah, okay. And so the applicant is asking that in addition, we sort of look at review replacing the shingles, which they have to be replaced anyway on that section.
They should be, because I think they're close to 30 years old.
And so I made a modification onto the application for historic appropriateness that to put architectural shingles on the newer section of the house.
But what is this, what's the connection between the 1990 and the new section?
The new section would be built behind the 1990, which is behind the original house.
Yeah, now does the 1990 have architectural or wood shingles?
Everything right now is wood shingles. When it was first built in, like, again, I don't have I can't tell from the, all the old drawings and everything, but it looks like it was built somewhere in the late 80s and early 90s. And that whole section, when it was built, it had asphalt shingles on it. And then somebody, now I don't know when the house became historic district, if it was, that's when they changed
Well,
it.
the district's been since the 80s, but that was built since the district.
So anyway, somebody, for some reason they changed, I know that a tree had fallen on the roof and they replaced, and so maybe they put the wood shingles when the tree damaged the roof. But I would just like to make everything from that's on the 1990 edition to be asphalt now.
And the original house still has the wood shingles.
That has, yes, that's,
Just to-
nothing's
just
changed
for
on
my-
the old house, it's the way it was built in 1740.
Joe, go ahead.
Just for my clarification, the 1990 section is currently wood shingles, and it's gonna stay that way?
No, he's asking about that becoming architectural shingles.
Okay, now it's clear.
Okay.
I was a little confused.
On
By the way, is that part of the application?
it wasn't on the application, but that's a question that's been raised about it since, so. And you, looking at the plot plan, the third page image, and the last page image, it's the main house is sort of perpendicular to the road, the frontage of the lot, and the garage and the addition sort of are at about a 45-degree angle further back away from the road. That last page shows it says a two-car garage, which is 24 by 22.
Would he be able to look at that picture that you pulled up on your phone? Might clarify it for him.
Okay. We did look at an image of the house that I pulled up from a Zillow.
I did the same thing.
Okay. So with the Zillow picture, it's the smaller looking structure at the end of the driveway. It's hard to tell from the photograph. It looks like it could be, if I blow it up on the screen, which loses clarity. It's hard to tell. It looks like it could be wood shingles. It could be
Here's the roof.
Anything up from here?
the clarity is it loses the clarity on when I blow up the picture on the phone. So
Well, is the whole house right now wood shingles, and we're only talking about using the asphalt shingles on the new addition?
Correct.
Or is there,
The 1990s edition as opposed to my proposed edition.
right. So the proposed edition and the 1990s edition would have the architectural shingles.
Everything behind
Everything behind the
the
original
original
house.
house.
And that 1990s edition was,
And that 1990s edition had architectural shingles. The applicant sort of said the best of his understanding is a tree fell on it, and when that tree fell on it, they replaced it with wood shingles. But that never came before us, to my recollection. And the applicant made note that in addition to it being really cost prohibitive for the wood shingles for that addition, the insurance company is sort of basically saying, if you don't change the wood shingles on that addition, they're going to make you get different insurance.
Cancel my insurance.
Right.
That's kind of strange that they would give you that kind of an edict on the basis of an addition, and yet the whole house is wood shingles.
No,
I
they said that about the original one, the old house, the original house, I put wood shingles on it last year. And that's when they told me that it was a fire hazard. And so it has, actually, that's done and over, that's,
so they're not requiring you to change something that you just redid.
right. So that's all, those are all wood shingles and it's gonna stay that way and I'm currently insured by them. And even now, it's still up in the air though. But I still have insurance, but they don't like, and because I know the agent personally, that's the only reason I have insurance right now. Cause they gave me such a hard time.
Now, what's the reason for changing the current wood shingles on the 1990 edition to architectural?
The wood shingles are 30 years old.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
The records that I got from the town, one of the descriptions, because they have the old paperwork and there's no date on it, but it said that he stripped the asphalt in his job description. He mentioned so that there is record that there were asphalt on it before.
So, what, if you heard that, the town records already show that the newer edition had asphalt shingles to begin with. Is that clearer, Joe?
Yeah, I just, are we looking at now two applications or one?
The one application that would be modified to say that the new addition would be re-roofed to replace 30-year-old shingles with architectural shingles.
Well, you're saying the 1990 edition would be,
Correct. And the addition they're building now, which is in the back and not visible from the road.
right?
How about if,
It seems to me it's become two separate and significant issues.
how about if I make a motion that we accept application 2502-150 with a clarification that reads from the back of the original house rearward. So that includes the old addition, the new addition, and the garage. I don't know if the garage was part of that first addition or not, but basically everything from the old house that's now wood back. We modify it to state that. And then we have a stipulation that they use weathered wood architectural shingles. Did that clarify and clear it up?
Second that motion.
Joe, did you hear that?
No, I missed the whole thing.
Okay, Steve is putting for a motion, that the new addition that they're building, together with the, 1990s edition, the stipulation that the application be modified with the stipulation that, weathered wood architectural shingles, would be used on the, anything built beyond the original house.
Okay, I
And,
understand.
and David seconded that. So now we have a motion on the floor.
I can second that.
Well, David already did, so now we just need a vote. Ayes?
Aye.
Okay, so that passes unanimously. So, yes.
Thank you.
You will get, a certificate of appropriateness that, Ruth will complete and fill and send out to you.
Okay, now I have to notify my two neighbors. Do I do that for the next meeting? Is that how that goes?
This is the application period, so did you not,
She told me I had to come to this, or she asked me to come to this to answer questions, and then I was, from what she told me, I thought now she would set a date for your next meeting, which I would invite the two neighbors to the meeting, I guess.
Part of the regulations, so,
pardon me?
it's part of the regulations, so we have to do it.
Yep.
Those letters weren't sent out.
Okay,
Because I asked her for a date, and she told me we'd find out after today. What the date would be.
okay. I guess that's sort of calls for looking into whether a legal notice was put in the paper already. Cause that would be official public notice, but yes, applicants are supposed to notify the neighbors, abutting neighbors. There's two other houses in the district.
Well, the game club owns the.
Oh, yes, right,
They own,
they own most of the land around you,
right,
right?
three sides, and Joe Clark.
Right,
across the
Joe
street.
Clark, and then is the,
Their house.
Tim and Pam.
Tim and Pam, right,
They're like almost a half mile up the road.
right.
So I don't know if they.
Are they here all the time now, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No, it's what, 100 feet or 200 feet?
It was 100.
They're more than 100, the
Yeah.
second house is more than 100 feet
They're
away.
close to a half mile up the road.
The Warnicki house is more than 100 feet from his.
Well, the physical house is more than 100 feet, but the property
The
line,
property line is less than 100 feet
well
away,
within,
it's right across the
it's
road.
just across the road.
And East Hampton Fish and Game is the other abutting
Other abutter.
property owner.
Completely around,
Yeah.
surrounding
Right.
the
There's
property.
nobody between Warnicki and the next street.
So this is not a public hearing. So in other words, this application,
We have a new secretary, so.
that's my point.
And I asked twice about it. When can I send this out? She said, come here and then I get a date. And so I can,
Okay,
Okay, well, let's just, move forward and get the green cards and just put it on the table the next meeting.
we table this until next meeting? Right,
And what we do with it, when the green cards are here, we just,
and the next meeting would be the third Tuesday in May. Which is,
Which is the 20th.
so just come back with the green cards and we're good.
where are green cards?
green cards is that you send to the abutting property owners certified mail. So,
That's how you do that.
Had the letter, and the main card.
Ruth gave me two copies of the letter that I have to send one to.
okay.
Some people are very slow at getting them back, so I would send them out post haste.
And East Hampton Fish and Game might be, Joe Clark might be a lot quicker at sending it.
Across the street, but I have to get this.
Right. East Hampton Fish and Game, while they have a main building in town, many of their members don't even live in town, so I don't know if any of them do.
Most of them live down in London.
I think it's the old post office box.
Yeah. Apologies, but you have given us as thorough a description as we need to. And we have a motion that was made with us not knowing that this wasn't,
Table it, just finish it up.
we table it and then we have to officially vote.
Alright, so let's formally table it. I move to table this application, which is application 25-02-150 until our next regular meeting on May 20.
I'll second
Okay, eyes on that,
Aye.
that. Aye.
I
so. So we'll see you next month.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Good to meet you.
Should get those. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Green cards are at the post office, it's the certified mail.
She gave me a regular paper with the information printed it. It's not green.
No,
But
the-
she
the-
said she said that I could, there's two types of mail, certified and something else that would be. She gave me two choices to use.
Because the cards will come back to you.
That's how the certified mail works,
Mail.
it's got, they tear off like a green card.
Oh, that's okay.
So your
Right.
certified mail
She
goes
gave-
to the property owner, the property owner sends it back, and this way you've got the verification that the neighboring property owner is been notified.
Yeah, so she gave me a letter with their address, everything on it, so that I just have to sign it, give her a date for the meeting on the 20th.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'll send that to them and they'll be certified and sign it.
Is
Your
your,
cards will come back to you and you
Yes.
will bring.
is your phone number on here?
Should be, but
Or even if you have an email, I'd like to, give you this modified language.
okay,
Okay.
sure.
You can write on that, that's my copy.
So this whole thing is moved, but he wants to stay. If he wants to go on camera.
Make it capital but all lowercase.
Okay, right, gotcha. Charles,
Chaz,
Chaz, C-H-A-Z-L.
L. Yanovich.
Okay, thank
But
you.
it's a lowercase.
No, I know with emails, it's kind of, the case is irrelevant, but yeah, thank you.
Okay,
You know, it would become more important with other things, but yeah, okay, thank you.
okay, thank you.
All right. Time for another help with Ruth. The second application on our roster, I have a letter from George Fellner, which I'm going to read here. That says, addressed to the chair regarding the Curry Levine House window replacement on behalf, dated April 7th. On behalf of my clients, Mary Curry and Jonathan Levine, I withdraw my application for certificate of appropriateness. Please cancel the public hearing that had been scheduled for April 15th. With the district, the property owners are reviewing the project regarding specific strategies for the proposed work. A future application may be considered that will incorporate historical concerns. So while it's on our agenda, it came the same day the agenda was basically typed up to the office. And that's the way it looks the way it does.
a neighbor, who's a friend of mine, has been in, visiting back and forth across the street with the house, and it's gotten the impression that they may be coming back to request a addition on the north side of the house.
Which house? Oh, this one,
The one with the windows,
okay.
so,
And who is that? Someone? Oh, the Windows house.
yeah.
So
Keith-
window project is
Keith
turning
Brunel.
into an addition, you think? That's what you're saying?
No, I think one of the reasons maybe they just dropped this is that they're thinking now of also coming back to put an addition,
Right, so the
two-story
potential
addition.
A two-story addition.
Yeah. I think it's on the north side, which is the side
This is the Levine house.
next to Harris.
This is what would have been the Keith, what had been
Keith
Fennell
Fennell.
house, right?
Keith Pennell and Stout, I think the other Keith was Stout.
So Joe, that comments were that the application for the windows has been withdrawn, but they may be coming to us again with an entirely different application with other components to it. Okay, all right.
Yeah, we voted
The-
to table.
Other thing that is here,
We don't need to vote on that.
Jim has
We have to vote on it.
sent a sort of draft of a property owner's guide to the East Haddam Historic Districts. He's made some changes on it, and there are some other things that are not changes. We discussed it at a meeting a couple of months ago, and there was a thought that the property owner's guide would be the first 4 pages of what is here and not have the other historic districts and supplemental information into the letter that would go to property owners. Jack Lovejoy said that he'd be willing to sit with me on weekends and work at doing another draft of the first 4 pages. Jack isn't here today, but we did have a conversation about that the other day, so. And I think you got a copy of that in your booklet. If you could email me any changes you want on the first 4 pages, and then Jack and I can look at it, and same applies to anybody else. Chris, I know you don't have email, so if you've got some thoughts on this, let me know. Okay.
Is that the windows?
Pardon me?
Is that the windows?
No, this is an entirely different subject. This is the other, I'm jumping to the next item on the agenda that says informational document. This is something that Jim Ventris had sent us before. That were things that we could send out to property owners. We really do need to get this done, so.
Yeah.
David and Carl, similarly, if you could sort of review that, send me notes, send Jack and I notes, or send them to Ruth and Sue Magri, so we can get everything and put it together and tighten it up and just hopefully get this mailed out before summertime.
You make a quick note that says that neighbors,
Pardon me?
neighbors within 100 feet should be contacted. That's not in here, so.
David, if I can ask Ruth to email this to you,
I only
or you
want,
already have it.
well, I have not been receiving my mail on a timely basis. I don't want postal mail. I have said that repeatedly.
Well, I have one question.
Yes, sir.
The form is, I understand they give an explanation of, the property owner's guide. But how does anyone know whether or not they're in an historic district?
My understanding is since the lawsuit involving the fence, that all historic district properties were tagged in the records. Is that?
The land deeds have little notation at the bottom that they're in a historic district. And hopefully, this is done each time the property changes hands, but that's been ever since the historic districts were created.
Does that answer that, Joe?
Well, we don't want to include the last bunch of pages that define the.
No, we're just talking about the first 4 pages.
Yeah, but again, how does anyone who gets, or who's going to get these 4 pages?
These 4 pages would go to people who live in historic districts and have or own properties in historic districts.
So they would know then that they are in the historic district by the fact that they get this letter.
They should have known when they purchased the property.
Okay.
Because it's on their, it's supposed to be on their deed.
Okay, it just was a question I had, because I don't.
You don't live in a district. You live in a historic house, but you don't live in a historic district. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
that's kind of, a way I kind of looked at it.
He does.
All right. Anything else?
Could I get a copy?
Did you get something like this in the mail,
I haven't been to my mail.
Army?
No, I haven't been
It
yet.
came probably within the last week. Thick envelope, brown.
I mean, it's probably
I
there.
got this the other day in the mail, and then Ruth had put this little note inside that, if you haven't got your mail, might be in there. There was a informational packet that was left in here for us, and I've passed those out. This was on the table when we came in tonight, so. And it's titled, and Joe will make sure you get a copy, it's entitled Conflict of Interest and Predisposition, something written by someone named Austin Wolf, dated March 1st, 2003.
Okay, that I did not get.
Okay, no, it was on the table when we came in tonight.
Okay.
The challenges of having a secretary, having clerical support that reviews the meetings remotely, so. Okay, anything else on? I don't have any other additional. Okay,
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Right. So the meeting is adjourned, and Joe, thank you for being with us. Turn off the TV set there.
Oops.